the hate parade keeps on rolling. He's going to make some choice analogies as well. We're going to go to clip number 4, guys. Clip number 4. A little bit later, we're going to share another clip with you of Limbaugh, who is unbearably boring. But here, at least, he's going to make some inflammatory comments, and somebody's going to be interested in this program for at least like 2 minutes. So I guess mission accomplished. Let's listen in.
So we have made a lot of progress in civil rights, but now, with this, how do you get promoted in a Barack Obama administration? By hating white people.
Yeah.
Or even saying you do. Or that they're not good, or that put them down, whatever. Make white people the new oppressed minority. And they're going right along with it because they're shutting up. They're moving to the back of the bus. They're saying, I can't use that drinking fountain? Okay. I can't use that restroom? Okay. That's the modern-day Republican Party. The equivalent of the Old South. The new oppressed minority. Whatever happened to the content of one's character as the basis of judging people? Whatever happened to that? And when someone, a judge, no less, uses race to demean and dismiss people, that is not to be condemned. We're supposed to understand the rage. We're supposed to understand the roots, where that came from. Who cares what race she is? I frankly don't. I did a fundraiser in Texas last night. There were 250 people there. I made a point. Men and women, all ages. There might have been some gays, there might have been some straights, I don't know. I'm looking out in the audience. Okay, let me see. I'm kind of looking at all you women, so I make sure I say something that doesn't offend you. I'm looking at all you men. Let's see. Are there any black people here? Do I see any gays? That's how liberals look at people. It's not how we used to look at people. We look at people as individuals. I don't care what race she is. I don't care what gender she is. She is one of 9 people with a lifetime appointment to the United States Supreme Court. I care about whether she's qualified. And I think she's disqualified herself.
Really? Surprised.
Not only does she lack the often discussed appropriate judicial temperament, it's worse than that. She brings a form of bigotry or racism to the court. I don't care. We're not supposed to say it. We're supposed to pretend it didn't happen. We're supposed to look at other things, but it's the elephant in the room.
No, you're the elephant in the room.
The real question here that needs to be asked, and nobody on our side, from a columnist to a TV commentator to anybody in our party, has the guts to ask, how can a president nominate such a candidate? And how can a party get behind such a candidate?
What are you talking about? Everybody's asking that on your side.
That's what would be asked if somebody were foolish enough to nominate David Duke or pick somebody even less offensive.
All right, so what do we have? We have bigotry, racism. This is what Sotomayor is apparently guilty of. She's hating white people, he said in the beginning of the clip, and then in the end you heard him say, compare her to David Duke, the David Duke of Latinas, I suppose. All right, so what has inspired all of this labels against her, which I thought the conservatives were very reluctant to label people racist, but apparently not when it comes to liberals or Hispanics or minorities or women. Then they don't mind at all. They throw it out at every opportunity. So what has inspired it when she said that as a Latina woman, she might have a better perspective to judge people in a similar situation than a white male. Now, she went on to say, doesn't mean white males cannot be empathetic. They cannot judge it perfectly effectively, as they did in Brown versus Board of Education, etc. But you know what? They have to work harder at it, and a lot of them do, and some don't. And so it's good to have different perspectives so that when cases come before me, in situations that I've lived, experiences that I've had, that my heritage as a Latino woman helps. Outrageous, racist, unbelievable David Duke of Latinas. It's not the case at all. If she had said, hey, you know what, as a Latino woman, I'm just better than white men, and I can judge all cases better than white men, well, then obviously that would be outrageous, but that's not at all what she said. So they're going to go on and on. Now, the irony of his statement is, he says, we are now the oppressed minority, and he loves it. He loves being the victim. You know how they say, oh, yeah, Democrats love being victims. It's actually the conservatives who love being victims, of course, another case of projection. And he loves to pretend to be the victim here. Can't get enough of it. And he says, I remember the days when we used to judge people on the content of their character. And that's not how we looked at people. And I don't care about where they come from, et cetera, et cetera. Like, we're supposed to understand where they come from. First of all, it might help if you understood where they came from, or if you tried at all to understand their perspective, right? That might help. But I know how Rush Limbaugh used to think, and it wasn't, I don't remember him judging people based on the content of their character. I remember when he told a caller to take the bone out of his nose before he talked to him, because he thought the caller was African American. Was he judging him based on the content of his character? And furthermore, I remember when he said that we should not have fought against the white government of South Africa, and that Nelson Mandela was a communist and, was doing the wrong thing in South Africa. Was he judging Nelson Mandela by the content of his character and the white apartheid government of South Africa based on the content of their character? That's not how I remember it. So, and then he, of course, throws in the nice little stereotype, too, that she's full of rage. That she's raging against white people. One, that's not at all true, and there's absolutely no evidence of that. And number two, of course, that's his way of saying, you know how Latino women are with all their rage. Now, when Antonin Scalia gets all worked up, oh, come on, he's got a fun Italian temper. That's all right. Interesting way that they handle different people with different standards. But we're not surprised.